Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host, Superman, in the house. Well, we had the Federal Reserve out overnight, and we had some dramatics on the Wall Street, so we're going to check all that out. 30-year bonds pretty much moved higher and cracked the markets a bit, and the stock market retrace. So we're going to get into all that. Fed Reserve, of course, no change in interest rates. Excuse me. We still had a few of the presidents still wanting to do a raise, but ultimately it landed on a no change. So that was pretty much what we expected. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's at. We'll be looking for the next move at the next meeting. Besides that, what else we had? We had obviously the Clarity Act. We're still looking for that to progress into next week. They'll be chopping and changing around a little bit. But I still believe that good chance of hitting the floor next week for the Clarity Act. So we're watching out for that. All right. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe on the way in and smash the follow button and hit the repost on X Live. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to kick into gear on the stock market and see how that went. Specifically, let's jump over here, and I just realized I got what backdrop I got there. Let's change that around. Let's see where we got there. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, nice. All right, very cool. All right, so we've got the Dow Jones overnight. So this is for Wednesday, where the Dow Jones down 2.2%. So quite a correction there, down 1,152 points. And that left us at 51,594. So decent correction there. S&P 500 down 1.5%, 112 points, 7,316. And the Nasdaq there down 1.74%, 433 points, 24,442. So quite the correction there. And as I say, the 30-year yields jumped up, didn't they? I'm just trying to remember, 5.67 or something like that. We got the US dollar index sitting at 173. So that is definitely come down a little bit there, but elevated at the moment. And the volatility index there has jumped 13% to 2.5 to 20.66. So obviously we want to get it back down to 15, 16. Being much preferred, but definitely elevated at the moment. Risk off. West Texas there, also oil prices elevated, $83.82, down a little bit at the moment, almost 0.75%. Brent oil also elevated there, $87.38, also down a little bit. And obviously, the Trump looks like they're going to do quite a bit of a hit back on Iran after it, decided to do a bit of a counterattack. Looks like there's different factions going on in Iran. Not surprising there, between who's doing what. We got gold at the moment is up 1.2%, $48 to $4,084. And we got silver there up 1.2%, 70 cents to $58.78. Holding on is silver. And copper looking pretty good at $6.40. And that has been pumped a little bit too today. So copper looking good. And we're pretty bullish about copper. We did have some bullish news around Microsoft. So after the market, so it jumped 9% after trade. So that is good news. And that has got the futures. The futures there was up. So the futures for later on today, so for the opening of Thursday market, is up 0.6%. So we might get a bit of a recovery there, and Microsoft helping with that, no doubt, as we move forward. Microsoft did have slightly lower capital, so that's been a concern, right, about overspending in the AI boom. So that is probably been received quite well. The other big thing, of course, we had interest rates, no change on the interest rates. And Fed Chair Kevin Walsh offered very few signs on that moving forward. But I suggest to you that it's more dovish than hawkish. And so that's where I think we're going to head into the end of the year. So that's where we are on the markets. Let's quickly go to the next Fed meeting, just as a quick. Just about had a bit of an electricity spike there. So 6 weeks and 6 days. So basically 7 weeks until the next meeting, guys, 16th September. So we've got a bit of it's quite long. We have the majority of the market, 62% now, expecting a rate rise at that time. So that's interesting. That's quite a turn of events. We will have quite a bit of data before that. We got the CPI data tomorrow. So let's have a look at the well, before we do that, let's have a quick look at a few of the other months. So October, 4%, December, 42 at 4%, and possibly another rate rise. So 2 rate rises on the cards from the market's perspective, but really just one if you lock it in by December. And then let's look at the economic calendar. You guys know we've got the CPE data tomorrow. So this week we've got the PCE data tomorrow. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Obviously, looking at 3.3%, we had 3.4% last year. What will that come in? I think that's going to be pretty important. It's a trend that the Fed is looking at, not in particular one-offs, even though last month the CPI and PPI were lower. So let's see if the PCE comes in lower too. Very important tomorrow. So not quite out of the woods yet. Quite a lot of volatility. Potentially some things go in your favor, some things don't. And of course, in the reaction to the markets, we had the bond market react there. The mortgage market react there with the long-term bonds. And that spooked the market. GDP, we've also got that coming tomorrow too. So, hopefully continue a strong economy. And then PPI on Saturday. Next week, let's go look at the next week's calendar. Next week, we will have a lot of manufacturing and price information, and employment. So next week's going to be pretty important too. It rolls on, economic data, just rolling on there with some potentially market movers. So we get all good numbers with inflation and jobs and manufacturing as they have been so far. Then that could all reverse things moving forward. All right, and the Clarity Act next week. All right, Clarity Act next week. Let's see if they can get it across the line before the end of recess, right? I think the only reason they extend recess, they said, is for the SAVE Act, right? So the voting acts. That's the only reason why. And I think they're trying to tie that into the budget as well. So I don't know. We'll see how that lands. We've got Frank Whitehouse there. Good morning. Good to see you, Frank. Democrats play as many tricks as they can. So we'll see how that lands. We did see speeches on the floor in the Senate, I think, overnight for support of the Clarity Act, trying to get the Democrats rallied in there. They've already been given heaps, but it's a bit like a vampire. How much blood are you going to give the damn thing? It's a bit like that. That's the Democrat Party. All right, so that's currently the stock market and economic news. We've got the crypto market. Let's have a refresh here and to see what the latest and greatest is. Well, we're at 2.27 trillion. We're down 0.5% overall on CoinGecko numbers. Bitcoin there obviously pulled back as well. We'll look at the chart in a minute. It's at just under 64,000. We're down 0.6% right now in the 24-hour, 7 days, 3.8. Ethereum there down 1.5 at 1,912. So that's actually still pretty good. $12, but we are down 2.1% for the week. We got BNB down 0.1% at $573. We got XRP at number 6, down 0.1%, 6.4% for the week, so still down decent there at $1.07. Solana down 1.1%, 6.2% at $73.85 at number 7. Tron, number 8 at 32.6 cents, up 0.2% on the day, but down 1% for the week. Hyperliquid number 10, that's at $54.27, down 2.4% today, and down 9.3% to the week, and has had big seller earlier a week ago and big unstaking, I think, was yesterday. So we'll see how that lays out. Still holding up 54.27. We'll just have to see where that goes. And then just honorable mention here, Dogecoin down 1.4%, 7 cents, down 4% for the week. So those are the top 10, 11. And let's look at the top 5 and the top 100. Well, we've got Adera Beat still performing pretty well, 14%, leading the way again. Talus up 3.9%. It's sitting at number 100 right now. It's probably been moving in and out after its rally the other day. Monero at number 3, up 2.9%. Pi Network up 2.8%, but all the way down at 8 cents. I mean, that thing was a couple of bucks, wasn't it? But it's competing with quality stuff. World Liberty Financial is up 2.4%. And those are the top 5. Interesting enough, just below the top 5, we've got Canton and Uniswap now. Canton, of course, is going to benefit big time from the tokenization of the DTCC, and Uniswap is, of course, dominating the DEX volume, particularly benefiting from the uplift in Robinhood So keep a lookout for those. They're going to be star performers, I think, big time. Weekly there, we got Dera beat up 47.7%. So obviously the star of the show. Remember we had that rally, was it last weekend for SHIB? Still up 9.1% for the week, but well down. It was over 5,000, wasn't it? I can't remember the total number. It's at 4,600 now. 50 is 4,600. Uniswap number 3, no surprise there. Big volume. Robinhood, 4.8% up. Binance Life there, up 4.1%, and OQB up 3.4% at the moment. So there we go. Top 1,000 movers. We've got Stonk Broker up 64%. Cody, remember Cody from what was it? Cody was launched on, what was it? KuCoin. Remember, it was a big launch. Remember that? It was up 61.6%. We're going back a little bit now, I guess, but that was quite a big launch there on KuCoin. Unif AI Network up 56%. Trending overall is Cody. Lighter, of course, Hyper's smaller competitor, is actually down 7% today. And BitTensor there is down 3% at the moment. And BitTensor will also benefit from, tokenization type AI stuff, particularly AI stuff there. All right, so that is the markets at the moment. So just down 0.5%, not too bad, given that the crypto stock market was down 1.5 to 2%. I guess it's not too bad. So one way of reading it, I guess. Let's have a look, because they're kind of indexes, right? So it's pretty similar. We're indexing 17,877 coins, basically, on this. Anyway, let's jump over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin there, we had a nice little bounce back in the last hour. Look at that. I guess this is when the market retraced back here, and it was up at 64,534. We went all the way back, I guess, on the retrace to 73,183. And then current hour, we're pumping back up from 63,600. That's a real positive sign. So that's on the hourly chart there. Very cool. Let's hopefully that continues, right? Now let's go to the daily chart here. The daily chart, we're sitting above the 50 moving average at 63,381. I think what we don't want to see is we don't want to see us go below 62,500. And then we go 62,500, we're going down. I think that's kind of the mark there. I think looking at this chart, if we started going below 62,500, certainly 62,300, I think, down we go, right? So I wouldn't want to see that in the chart. We've had almost a double tap here of 67,300. We're slightly lower here, let's say 67. But we want to keep this daily chart going to the upside here and hopefully bouncing off this 50 daily moving average. I think 62,300 to 62,300 to 62,500 is a bad sign. That would be probably send us down quite a bit. We might get that fourth wave, who knows? But maybe definitely down to the downside. So at the moment we're holding pretty well. So we're defending at 63,371 on the 50-day moving average. The 200 moving average is at 71,600. You guys know we've essentially got to get over, let's say 68, just to be clear. Clear this previous local tops here. Our third wave down, we were starting off at 73,900. So obviously, we've got these moving averages and this horizontal line to get over. So if we can get back over 73,800 in the future, that'd be pretty cool. But before we do that, I think we've got to get over 68,000. Sorry, I keep saying 100, but 68,000, and then we can think about that other target above us. All right, that is where we are right now. Obviously, Clarity Act is going to be pretty important moving into the week, into the next week. But CPE data and PCE data tomorrow, important for that. So let's see how we get on. That is a Bitcoin. I'm going to move that over actually because we're going to talk about Ethereum. So let's get into the Bitcoin treasuries. Just want to quickly touch on this. So Strategy is sitting at 843,775. No real change there. Strive actually in their weekly update, they actually bought a bit more. They're now exactly on 20,000 Bitcoin. So that's kind of cool. The big thing news overnight, I think Metaplanet issued its first securities. I think they were done privately for Metaplanet. So that's basically they're active now. So I might have to bring it up tomorrow because I didn't bring up the data today to talk about it. We've got Blair in the house. Hey all, good to see you, Blair. Welcome to the chat there. Craig Pitt as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig, as always. So yeah, we're getting some action on Metaplanet. That bodes well for the future. They're sitting at number 3 on 3043. We are expecting Strategy, Metaplanet, a Bitcoin Standard Treasury Company, and strive to all be pretty key players amongst the top treasuries or digital asset treasuries there. And Metaplanet and Bitcoin Standard Treasury should be the two additional ones, doing something this second half of the year, adding to the mix. Strategy has got to wait until the preferred stock gets back to $100, but they're doing what they can to get back up there. And once we move out of July, I guess we move into a new options month as well. Should make it a bit easier. And with Bitcoin, hopefully holding up, especially if it breaks 68,000, then we could see that get repriced close to $100 again, and they could be back in the buying business rather than raising capital, selling, and all the rest of it. So keep a lookout for that. That is that. Let's have a look at the preferred stocks since we're talking about digital credit. Let's go down here and have a look at the prices. So we've got Stretch at the moment from Strategy at $87.66. Sort of see it still lingering down below. Effective yield around 13%. I thought this was supposed to be 12%, so I'm not quite sure it's sitting at 11.5. SATA is $95.78, so that's actually got further away from the target. But 13% yield, daily divs. I mean, come on, it's pretty good. SATA there, still struggling there. Obviously got pulled back overnight, did it? Yeah. Got up to $96.80, and then it's come back down with the rest of the market there during regular normal hours. So that is pretty much it on that. That leads us into Metaplanet. Actually, I did have the Metaplanet stuff up. I said I couldn't talk about it, but apparently I can. Metaplanet has just started the first tranche offering of bit bonds in Japan. So that's good news. To selected shareholders through Metaplanet Securities with a 4% annual interest. This gives Metaplanet the lowest cost capital of any treasury company to raise funds and buy more Bitcoin. So there we go. Metaplanet in the mix there. I think we're going to see a range of products from them. It's game on. It's the fourth biggest economy. So you got the US, you got China, you got Germany, and then you got Japan. So it's the fourth biggest economy. It was the third, right? Remember that? Used to be number 2, didn't it? As well, I think. So behind the US. Number 4 at the moment is the old Japan with the Metaplanet. So keep a lookout for that. So 3 players on the field right now. That brings us into Ethereum. So we'll talk about that next. Let me just bring up the Ethereum price. Go to Coinbase, just keep it consistent. On the hourly there, let's go back to the hourly. So hourly, not so bad. And look at the hours, actually doing pretty well. I mean, when the market sold off, I guess we were up here at 1932. We got sold down here all the way down to 1871. So it's what, 60 bucks range. We're back up at 1916, looking not too bad. So it's good. Let's go to the daily chart. We've got the daily 50 moving average at 1769. And we're right in the middle now of these 2 moving averages. The 200 is at 2116, and you guys know we want to get over 2000. But it does look like we're tracking up there, eh? We have seen a number of whales accumulating Ethereum as well, which I haven't covered that much, but they're out there buying up pretty decent bags of Ethereum. So we have got quite a bit of support here, and we're going to, I guess, have another attempt to try and get the 2000. If we reject the 2000, then we're most likely going down, right? That's the counter move. Obviously, it's pretty obvious, but 2000's pretty key. If we get above there, then more bulls over bears, right? Bulls over bears. So far so good. We have seen a lot of larger whales coming in and buying up the price, and no doubt, Bitmine, I think bought another 5,000. I think it was a couple of days just after their weekly update, where they bought almost 10,000 Ethereum. So onwards, upwards there. So that is the mark. Let's have a look at the weekly one quickly. Weekly, we've got the 200 weekly average at 24.81. So we've got $2,000 kind of the near term, and then 2,500. I know they're pretty round numbers, but it's essentially we've got to get over those numbers really. So onwards, upwards. Definitely have to get over 2,400 to beat out this previous high. So 25 makes a lot of sense. Currently, the 50 moving average is at $2,770 or $2,770 there for Ethereum there. But we're hyper bullish, right? We may very well see something like this happen, or we had last year on the back of tokenization. And if we get clarity, real progression on clarity next week, That'd be good. That'd be good. All right, so that's ETH there right now. Let's have a quick look at the big news around ETH. Well, Ethereum Institutional, as you guys know, we've got 4 nodes, as we might call them, Ethereum Foundation. We've got Ethereum Labs, ETH Labs. We've got Ethereum Institutional, which is what we're looking at here now. And then we've got Ethereum Systems. So 4 nodes, they're all working on different parts of Ethereum to make it super successful and commercialize it for adoption. So that's kind of where we are right now. There was controversy, I think it was over the last 24 hours regarding the stakers in Lido, the lack of centralization there, which has been a bit of a drama. And apparently the XRP boys put out an official letter and signed it to say that how centralized Ethereum was. So I don't know. Yeah, it is important. These are important issues. I know we might try and deep dive into that a little bit later on. But anyway, let's get into the news today. Ethereum Institutional. We're excited to announce the close of Ethereum Ministry, I guess it is, initial ecosystem funding round, and Ethereum Institutional initial ecosystem funding round, and support a coalition with broad participation support from individual entities focused on driving institutional adoption, which is the main focus of Ethereum Institutional. Our ecosystem funding round is anchored by Bitmine, of course, SharpLink, number 1 and 2 digital asset treasuries for Ethereum, and Ethereum co-founders Joseph Lubin there, and Maha Alisi there as well, co-founder of Ethereum, is also alongside a larger group of individuals and crypto native institutions. So there's a fine and dandy list there, as you guys can see, that have supported this, including Ondo, by the way, down there. Now, funnily enough, with Ondo, which is a tokenization leader at the moment in a lot of categories, is BlackRock talking about them being the gold standard, interesting enough, and doing deals going forward. So that's you can sort of see this all linking up. So BlackRock, biggest institutional investing, private investing firm there, backing up with the Ondo. So expecting bigger and bigger things all the time. So that's pretty big news there. They said, we're grateful for the background of 100 plus ecosystem participants who have come together around Ethereum Institutional and our mission to accelerate institutional adoption for Ethereum, each contributing capital, time, expertise, and amplification to help drive the work forward. This support gives us the mandate and runway to push harder, turning years of institutional engagement into sustained global effort to bring tokenization, stablecoins, and market infrastructure on-chain on Ethereum and its ecosystem. We're now ramping up efforts in the months ahead. We will accelerate direct engagement with banks, asset managers, custodians, market infrastructures, fintechs, sovereign institutions evaluating Ethereum, advance concrete work streams around tokenization, stablecoins, market infrastructure, and on-chain settlement for Ethereum and layers 2, scale our core focus areas, institutional education, market intelligence, ETH and ecosystem marketing, industry discovery and the requirements, and high signal institutional convenings. So that's hyper bullish, guys. That is so good. That's exactly what we want to see. So basically, guys, they're getting funded and they're working for you guys. If you're holding Ether and any assets on there, they're working for you. That's great. Don't tell them I said it. Don't tell them I said it. All right, we will continue to proactively involve and actively work with the wider Ethereum ecosystem and community to drive adoption forward. Collaborating, I should say, with layer 2s, app teams, infra, and custody providers, independent organizations, and community contributors. Momentum for Ethereum as the institutional base layer has never been stronger. So it's very, very bullish. They've been obviously working with institutions for some time now as part of the, previously as the Ethereum Foundation sort of breakout. And institutions now have a dedicated, neutral, ecosystem-aligned counterpart for evaluating and building Ethereum there. And the key one there is probably the neutral part. They're very keen to make that the key principle. We're continuing to accelerate efforts. If you want to engage and get involved, there is the link. So that was pretty cool from them, as you can see. So some good stuff there from institutional. That's going to be play a very important role in commercializing, and getting adoption for Ethereum. So very cool. Just one of the 4 nodes, right? All right, so that was pretty cool. That leads us on to Pulsechain, and Pulsechain, of course, downstream from Ethereum, but leading in the yields right now, which is great to see. Great to see that. So we got Pulse at the moment sitting at 5 zeros, 84.57. You guys know what I say, 8,500. So we're pretty much sitting on that mark now. And we're up 5.3% today. So that's pretty cool after the shock in the market overnight, particularly for the stocks and to some degree the crypto majors. HEX at the moment still up pretty nicely, double digits, 13.64%, sitting at 0.21 of a penny and holding, which is pretty unusual, right? Normally we get the good old pump and a smash, damn, down we go. Smash, bam, down we go. All right, but we're holding, so interesting. Interesting psychology there. Will the holding hold? I guess it's another question, but so far so good, up 20.6%. We want the RSI to cool off, right? If we're going to get ready to go for another level. Not to say that it won't come back just a little bit before it does that, but if it can hold in this range, it's looking very positive. So HEX on the move there. PROVEX at the moment is sitting at 4.048, up almost 11% as well. So that's good to see that. We've got the early phases of adoption with PROVEX really in play. Obviously, VersaVault kicking it off there. So slowly moving there with the bigger protocols. Pulsechain at the moment up 7.5% at 507 something. They need another decimal place, but hey. Ink token is at 41%, up 11.5%, benefiting there. Although I'm not a big fan, Let's go. I say that all the time. Gas prices, we're at 400,000 beats on the low side. We're sitting at 60 pulse per Pulsechain swap, 500th of a penny for Pulsechain swap there. And validators, so we've got that. 45,728. So we're up about 50 validators. That's cool. 45,728. So that's good news. Let's see if we get any major moves in validators going forward. And finally, our bridge is our last global stat that we look at. We're at 52.28 million, which is pretty outstanding, right? So that's great. Let's get that in. So, I think we were at, what did we bottom out at? 47, 49, let's say. Let's just round it off at 47.5. And that means that we're up, almost $5 million, not quite 4,750 or something off the bottom. So that's kind of cool. And we've got asset prices moving up, obviously. Kind of cool. That's obviously with the majors down a bit. So it's kind of cool. We must have a bit of capital come over. Yeah. 240,000 net capital in the last 24 hours. So that's good. All right. What is that coming in actually? Let's have a look here. We got a lot of USDC coming in. There we go. And wrapped ETH. We'll take that. All right. So cool. We'll take your wrapped ETH in that. All right. So that is the leaders at the moment on the bridge. And here's the Pulse price. Looking pretty damn good, isn't it? Looking pretty good. Are we going to have another round of clapping? I don't know, but it's getting pretty good. We're getting what we wanted. It's not often on Pulsechain that you get that, but here we are, up 56% in 16 days. Pretty awesome. Yesterday we were as high as 61% up on 15 days. So we've got plenty of room to move. We can really keep moving. We just consolidate here. Let's have a look at the RSI on the daily. We've got the RSI is hot at 76. Also the stochastic RSI as well. So would really just have to if we can move sideways, that'd be pretty nice. And just cool off the RSI just jets there. That'd be pretty cool. We have got to the level that we needed to do. Let's go to the weekly here. Before we do that though, we got let me just get rid of these RSIs, but we have got the 200 daily moving average at 401,000, which is just unbelievable, isn't it? That this sits there at 4,100. Maybe there's a mathematical thing for that, but that's pretty crazy. We're sitting at 401,007. So there we go, just at the moment. So that's a nice little target. I guess next target, we've hit our first target, 85. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but that's another 19.4% to go to get up there. But that would certainly make the RSI pretty hot. We do have a lot of room to move on the weekly. So let's go to the weekly RSI. Weekly RSI is only at 45. So yeah, we can keep going. We just need to maybe cool off a little bit on the daily there, just take our time to abide to it. But that's not too bad. Obviously, the stochastics is up there. Yeah, let's see if we can get a bit more juice out of it. We are sitting right on the 21 weekly moving average, essentially, or just slightly below it. There's a fraction below it, but we've gone above it, and that's pretty bullish, right? So 21 moving average, there is at 80. We're just going to round at 8,500. So let's see if we can just sort of sit around it, just above it would be quite nice. Let's see whether we can do that. Let's cool the RSI off on the daily, and then make another attempt to go to get past the 200 daily at 1,000. Lose a zero on the way. We're not too far. Just under 20% to lose a zero, and then we could start hitting these bigger targets of 1,200 and 1,700. Do something like this blue line here, and up we go. It's funny how that's tracing up the blue line. That's just a coincidence, but that would be kind of cool to see that. And if we do that, we're already almost, I think, locking in the all-time low. I think we've just got to break out through this next level, and I think that's pretty much done, all things equal, assuming we don't have a fourth wave down in the crypto majors by October. Then that's locked and loaded. I think we're locked that in, and then we can say we're after the second goal. What's our second goal? Well, it's breaking this mega downtrend, which is a mega goal. And so this is kind of, I think, where we have to go, this blue line. So something like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be tomorrow, but just in the days and weeks ahead, it'll be something that we can head up forward. So that's our second goal. I think we're almost locked in the all-time low, and we just need that next push, which doesn't necessarily have to be tomorrow, like I say. So we're getting there, guys. I think we're getting there. 85, and the chart's holding up quite nicely at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, we might oscillate a little bit, but we'll get there. So that's Pulse. All right, let's jump into the top performers. Well, I'm glad to say another day with good volume, 7.7 million. We've had 3 days with over 6 million. Now we're at 7.7. So another good day. There's also a good day for the DEXs and DEX aggregators. That includes wallets like Internet Money with their swapping in there as well. So yeah, bullish stuff there. Lots more fees. Better for not only DEXs but also the DEX tokens and the people providing LP. Right, they're getting much better yields. All sort of self-fulfilling, positive flywheel stuff. So it's kind of cool. Let's see, out of 7.6 million, who's doing what? So Pulsechain doing 5.9. So what are we up to? 1.7 somewhere, 9mm, doing 900. So we got after another 800 maybe. Liberty Swap doing 286. So I guess we're after about 500, are we? I don't know if this is going to add up. Oh, far out. Look at SwitchEx. I don't know what SwitchEx is doing here at number 4 when it's got bigger volume. But that's got a lot of the rest of the volume, 460k. Big jump there. That's a huge jump. We've got a bit in 9-inch at 35k, and Uniswap at 20k. So there, I think that balances out pretty well. But SwitchEx, still look at that, because that's very different. Obviously, a lot of pulse volume. Look at that, 140k volume through there. Wow, that's a big jump. And then we've got Switch doing really big volumes as well. Price pretty much static, but big volumes going through there. And then wrapped ETH as well, and some of the richer cores. So really nice day in the office there for SwitchEx. Brandon's got to be very happy with that. And Liberty Swap there, which should be in number 4. So I'm not sure why it hasn't switched positions. That is mostly Peacock led. Pulsechain, wrapped ETH, DAI. Peacock Ninjas after yesterday, wasn't it up? Peacock Ninjas was up at 270, 280k. Now it's back down to 17k again. What the heck is going on there? Have a quick look at that. Yeah, look at that big volume counter yesterday, and then it's disappeared. Woo! Holy heck, and Doogie Howser. That's dramatic. Look at that, one big volume candle, 270k, and then just disappeared. The magic of OG WebChef. That's magic there. So that is pretty interesting. 9mm, most of the volumes there. HEX, $250,000, not bad. And then Pulsechain Inc., the rest of Richard Cores, giving the rest of the volume. And finally, Pulsechain. Pulsechain there is ALGO leading the way. Sorry, the volumes, I should say. HEX leading the way in the volumes there. Well over $1 million of HEX volume, maybe $1.5 million volume, $1.5 million. And the rest of Richard Cores dominating the volumes all the way down to, I see, Peacock and maybe Most Wanted there contributing as well. So those are the big volumes. Let's all look at the top performers. ALGO leading the way again, up 23% again. boy, Algo having the time of its life, a bit like Dirty Dancing is having a time of its life there. All right, so we're up 460% in 16 days, so 5.6x on the old Algo. And of course, it had been sleeping for a long time, right? Sleeping there, coming down. Look at that, coming down, sleeping, and then it's awakened. It's awakened like the giants of Musaba. I don't know, let's make that up, but there we go, 460%. That's pretty awesome. Let's look at the ratio of the HEX and the HEX ratio there. Look at that. I mean, we'll just take from here. So it was 2.2, 0.022, and now it's 0.045, so 2x there. So Algo there looking like a star. All right, Unity from cryptographics suddenly shining out of nowhere. Bam, and there it is, 14.6%. Let's have a look at Unity versus Pulsechain. And I don't know what's happening with this chart, but it's gone awry. And let's got the daily. Let's go to daily. I don't know what's this, the normal volume. It's only got $882 of volume, but it's up 14.6%. So there we go, easily moved on that one. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's sitting at 8,300 for a penny. HEX, of course, dominating. HEX is dominating. Hooray! HEX is peer number 3 to all the way to number 11, and no one else has been found except for Algo, and it's just HEX derivative anyway. So Unity sneaking in there with a little volume, but HEX dominating. Look at that, up 13.25%, depending on the pair, sitting at 21/100th of a penny, looking very strong right now. And other people don't, obviously not wanting to sell that move. People at the moment, at least, people are holding, saying, "Nah, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're not going to sell this time. It's just the beginning of greatness." Is there this belief right now? But so far, so good. So right now, we got some good stuff happening here. Let's go to the biggest pool, which is V2, and let's have a look at that. So D-Day here. So it's the daily chart. We have got nice volume coming in the last 4 days. You can see that in the bottom here. And we have been rising pretty nicely. Look at that. Very, very archy. Let's have a look at the RSI. The RSI is hot at 85, so very hot, I would say. So it needs to just cool down. And if it just oscillates in a bit of a range, that'd be pretty cool. Move sideways. But it is 86 right now. And on the weekly, it's got plenty of room to move. It's only on 54, so it just needs to maybe cool a little bit around this zone. Would be quite nice, and then maybe make another move not too far in the future. So that is the daily part of HEX, but let's look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio there, obviously this is a weekly candle, so over the last 5 weeks, it's gone up pretty dramatically. I'm not going to take it from the bottom wicks here, but just from here, 134 to 250, that's an 86% move there. Not bad at all. But let's do something fun. Let's go to the weeklies here, and we'll take it from the bottom of the wicks. This is we'll go to US dollar price, and we'll do that again. We'll take the weeks, and if we look at the bottom of the wicks here, we'll take that wick down to 0.0006700. Then over this 49 days, let's say 50 days amongst friends, 220%, so 3.2x. If you'd managed to have some limit order or something by fluke at wick. But let's take a more reasonable place and take the bottom ranges here. And so that's still up, 150, say 160%, so 2.6x inside a month, around this range. So not bad. So HEX looking like a star. How about that? That's pretty cool. All right, let's see if it cools at around this range. Seems like it will. So yeah. Maybe it's going to go to 222, 23. We'll see. But definitely hot on the RSI there. Plenty of room on the weekly, so it could keep elevated on the RSI on the daily. And so far, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? 13, UFO is up there at number 13, up 11.5% there from the PTC, recently launched 20 days ago. That's versus Pulsechain pair. We've got Ink Token and ProveX in the middle there. I'm not going to talk about any of these. We've done Sparta. So just a correction around Sparta. Sparta's treasury apparently is sitting in, what is it, Plusx? Let me just go check. So it has disappeared off the website, and the website's been disconnected. So, but a little birdie told me that it was now, let's see, where has it gone? It's gone to LPX. So it's an LPX, so 2 to 300 million HEX. For the Sparta treasury. So there we go. So that's a correction there for me. That's for Sparta. So Sparta's up 10% there on the back of HEX, so HEX leverage, and that has been moving up pretty nice as well. We'll take it from the bottom here in June. It's up 211% on the price, so 3.1x. Doing pretty good, going from 1,300 of a penny to 4,200 of a penny. So it is riding the wave on that as well. All right, what else we got going here? Let's scroll down. Doubt token number 28 is up almost 10% as well. One of our top meme coins. But look at the dominance, guys. Richard Cause all the way, with a few exceptions. Richard Cause dominating all the top numbers there. Look at that, peers all the way up to number 40 at least, up 6.8%. PTC de Grey's making a bit of a showcase along with UFO, up 8%. Let's see if we can find a good peer. Let's find a good peer here for PTC. It's moving around a little bit. Trying to catch me if you can. We've got a bit of James Maria, Teddy Bear and a Troper sitting here up 5-6% as well. A few odd projects like Gizmo up 5%. Smorg up 5%. Smaller players. World's Greatest Pedo Printer up 5%. In fact, that's not been too bad, has it? From the OG Webship printer. Look at that. Not too bad at all. It's had a nice little price run. 13th of July on the daily charts here, up 127%. Not bad. So it's been a lot of fun recently on Pulsechain compared to previous times. We had 11 down months. Remember in Pulse, 11 down months. Well, we've said goodbye for that for the time being. Yeah, we're moving up. It's kind of cool. Is Ethereum downstream from Pulsechain? we make jokes. But that is kind of where we are. Let's move forward. We've got Finvestor at number 58, up 4%. PMX 500 up 4%. Vouch up 3.7%. Our biggest public validator. Mafia Coin from Rack and Michelle up to $2.22, up 3%. 9mm, our second biggest DEX, doing really good volume. I mean, look at the volume, 900K now. So it's a big shift from 100 to 200K in volume. So how the world has changed. It's almost a 10x in volume, which has been pretty good from 9mm, and it's all the way down here. Not getting priced up at the moment, but probably should be. Up 2.5%. It's definitely been on a run here, but still pretty modest, I would say. Let's see here, we're up just 48% in the last 5 days. I guess it's a fair pricing in the short time, but I do expect if we continue this run, this should just re-rate real strong, as we normally see for top dexes. They earn more fees and just I guess get price better. But that is the chart right now. So still pretty modest still on the weekly. There's the weekly candles, so we're up basically 4 weeks off that bottom. Gone from 26/100 of a penny to 9/10 of a penny, almost back at 1 cent. Not bad. That might trigger something. Plenty of room in the RSI on the weekly, and the daily still got a bit of room to move too, without being too hot. So keep a lookout for that 90mm. Maybe get a little market maker candle there. Peacock at the moment sitting at what's that? We're number 67, 2/3 away. Anything that's over 5.7%, right? So that was anything. We've got 40 coins that are 40 pairs doing better than Pulse itself. So this is in the top 100 here. Peacock here doing sitting at 1.1 cents. So just still, I guess, accumulating. The ratio does tend to go down. So when Pulse rate, at the moment at least, when Pulse goes up, the ratio goes down on the old Liberty Peacock, and it's gone down to 1308. So it was at 16, around 1600, and it's 13 on the Pulse ride. So it does get a little bit of that going on. You can see on the daily there with the Pulse ratio coming down as the Pulse price goes up. All things equal at the moment. Obviously, if there's more buying of Peacock, then that will reverse. May very well reverse in due course as it's waiting to more product launches, right? So we're ticking away here with product launches, so keep a lookout for that. And it's coming up, by the way, let me just get rid of the RSI here. It's coming up to the 200 moving average, which is pretty much on now, pretty much on that. It's just slightly showing just below that at the moment. Yeah, just slightly below, but it's pretty much on that. So that could be a nice breakout level too, coming up there. It's above all the rest of the daily averages. Kind of cool. Let's have a look at the weekly there. So weekly candles, obviously up in US dollar prices, but the ratio coming down there. But we get some of these big launches that they've got coming up, then we'll see what happens over the next sort of few weeks. All right, that is Peacock. What else we got? Pump Tires up 1.8%. Zendog from the Peacock trifecta up 1.7. Very low volume on that. Staked ETH up 1.6%. So a lot of small movers here. Reserve Tay, James Maria, Switch here. One of the pairs up fractionally. So we got how many? 80 in the green. Half of them doing better than Pulse, and then the rest of them slightly behind here. Some of these pairs. The ones hits the most there is X Game, down 21%. Liquid Loans after not doing too bad. They had a little couple day run up, down 9.5% at the moment. Pepe meme coin, which was up yesterday, down 6%. That was one of our top memes. We had 2 Pepes, I think it was yesterday. And then was this PDI? I think it is PDI. Yeah, PDI. Is it PDI or was it triple? I don't know if it's PDI. Is it Pump Tires Die? I've been confusing myself lately. I got to go and double check again. We're 00027. I think it's PDI's got one less zero, isn't it? Yeah. This is Pump Tires Die. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at the moment on the total on all the charts. So let's jump away to the news. Have a quick look around, see what people are doing. We're up to 46 minutes on the hour. We got. Let's go have a look for the Liberty Swap. We'll kick it off with them first. Have a look through and see whether they've got any particular updates today. We have had the hard wallets, right, connected. We have had the fast and slow mode for Shield. Those have kind of been some of the upgrades that we've had from them. And we're expecting some bigger upgrades as well coming along. I mean, they're all big, but bigger and better. So let's have a look here. We've got 9 hours to go. We're just getting there. I think we might kick it off here. 9 hours ago, yeah. So 9 hours ago, Fast Shield and Unshield via integrated Liberty Shield is done. Tick. Broadcaster selection and in-wallet railgun. Liberty team earns fees by operating railgun broadcasters. Done. Or tested. Done testing. Bluetooth hardware wallet connection on mobile. Done testing. Gas tank. Done testing. And then Liberty Pool statistics done. Standardizing and optimizing data processing done. Liberty Swap contract fee functionality by the end of July. Built-in ZKX wallet integration done. Liberty Swap, yeah, okay. And that's done testing. Robinhood chain, Pulsechain done testing. So they've got a lot of stuff done testing. I guess it's going to go live pretty soon. New Go Pulse website is back up apparently, testing their products. So that's good news. This month's development was all done. Now it's up to the UI team to deploy everything to production. There we go. ZKX web app, the best railgun experience, gas tank, Liberty Swap fees are our contribution for this July. August will be even more exciting. So there we go. You can see the swap and bridging now showing up in at least the web app version. And then they got the shield unshielding, and it has the fast and slow mode, doesn't it? Using example here is fast mode. So it's cool. That's cool. All right, so we'll repost it out, won't we? We'll do that. All right, so kind of cool. And that is their main update there from the looks of it for July. A lot of stuff going to production in the days ahead, I guess. What else we got going? We're just going to scroll up here. Scrolling back up here. Looking at bam. Yeah, we're going through all this stuff. Don't get dizzy, guys. Don't get dizzy. What else there? Yep, scrolling past all that. These are all very nice, but not updates that we're after. We're only looking for updates generally. I don't know. I think we keep going. Yeah, that's pretty much it from them. So that was their main updates. Let's go to have a look at Fast Abdul. Fast Abdul, of course, with the Vault 369. I don't know if he's got, this is the latest big project to launch from Pulsechain. Let's go have a check out on the stats ourselves. We do our own updates since Fast Abdul's not doing it. We'll do it. There we go. TVL, a total value lock now is at 33,800. I think that's up from yesterday. Was it 31? I think we might be up another maybe 2.5K. Stablecoin supply hasn't really grown much in the last couple of days, 2-3 days, sitting at 11,627. So obviously Pulsechain pumping TVL is going up. That's my guess there. but it's ticking away. It's ticking away the old protocol on the old Vault 369, our 5th liquidity fork. Pretty cool. So congratulations to Fast Abdul there. Let's go to the next one. We got Triple Dad. We're waiting for VersaVaults and our 6th liquidity fork. They all got slight differences to them, so you have to just to study them up a little bit there. But as far as I know, the white paper is due out pretty shortly for that, so we'll just wait for that as well. We have been looking at Batia's, just keeping up to them. They had a big update yesterday, first big update I think since April, and that was about their internal LMM architecture was completed last week. And I'm presuming this is what they're meaning for P-Day, their new trading order book / AI protocol. So now they're starting upgrading the main modules with the training data. So I'm assuming that's what they're talking about here. And that's from them. And then Internet Money has been not too bad, is it, with KG? They've been doing lots of updates lately. Internet Money is continuing its quest of bringing crypto to the world. Today's step up is hello to TikTok. So they're now on TikTok now. It does take a bit to get on all these platforms, so they're doing that. And we'd also had their recent update, 124,000 downloads. So Internet Money is still building out, and of course they are the biggest. To all these DEX aggregators, that with the Internet Money swapping, which does a lot of swapping, they also contributing to a lot of our DEX and DEX, or at least our DEX aggregators, right? Which they're contributing a lot of volume to. Big shout out there too. So, nice one. All right, so that's some of the good stuff there. Just thinking we missed out anybody. We did cover EMIT yesterday with Kairos. I don't know if Kairos has been putting up. Kairos, of course, running multiple protocols on Pulsechain. And they've been giving out, doing NFT sales and all sorts of stuff. Pretty successful single-sided staking. So if you are after high yield DeFi income, Emmet Farm is the place to check it out there, along with True Farm as well. And talking about True Farm, since we're talking about that, let's go to Neil. Neil is running True DeFi team along with Daniel, an executioner in the house as well. And they launched the expansion. They're moving on Omnichain to Binance, which is pretty cool. And I don't know if they have. Looks like they've launched a new pool on there too, haven't they? So let's have a quick look at this one. I'm just going to go through True Farms here on BNB. We'll just go to the website. So this is using similar technology, obviously a fork of Emmet, but they have got a tech partnership there from the looks of it. 30 cents is the current price of True Farm on BNB chain. Market cap 300K. Let's see here, they got 432 True Farm emissions per day on the BNB side, and they've added a new farm. Yes, because we only had these two yesterday. They had single-side staking of True Farm, and the yield is 113% at the moment. It's about 1.5%, let's say, a week. Capital return. True Farm BNB yield at the moment is 101%. It's about 1.3% or so per week. And then they've just launched this new one here. So True Farm and USDC on BNB. So that's pretty cool. These all have different impermanent losses, right? So because they move, True Farm and BNB will move differently in prices against each other. And True Farm here will move different compared to stablecoin, which is always $1, right? Always $1. And that's at 284%. And that's doing 2.6% capital return at the moment. That's just launched too. TVL near 5,700, but it's a different kind of pool with stablecoin. So they've got a bit of everything. They've got all three good examples here of the three different types of pools that you might have. So kind of cool, and looking good there from True DeFi team. Neil and Daniel doing a great job as well. I think they've recently done a DeFi in crypto. Yeah, they did. Only an hour ago, guys. Oh, it's on now. It's on now, guys. So that's kind of cool. I might repost that after the live show. But that's going on as well, so pretty cool. All right, I think we might finish there, guys. 55 minutes on the hour. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We've got, what are we going to say? We've got the inflation data tomorrow, a bit of employment data, I think tomorrow as well. Was it? Yeah, definitely inflation data tomorrow. We've got positive futures market, maybe a recovery overnight. on the back of Microsoft and just a recovery after last night's correction. Maybe the bond market settled down a little bit there as well, mortgage markets, and so that could be positive. We're always wanting these things to be tailwinds, and hopefully next week we get a markup for the Clarity Act, and we're going to get all that manufacturing and employment data next week as well, and probably a few more earnings season stuff. So we've still got quite a bit in store for us over the next sort of 7 days, haven't we? So we'll keep a lookout for that, and hopefully we break some higher highs there on the ETH. ETH deficit looks like it's pushing, so that would be good for the rest of the market too. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. Pulsechain and HEX on the move, and it's exciting to see it stand out as a standout right now too amongst this volatility. So good stuff there. All right, let's keep tracking that. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to jump into DeFi on crypto. I will post the link here. I'm going to hit the repost there, and that you can find that on X. But I will post in the comments here as well. This is hot on now with the True DeFi team running the DeFi on Pulsechain sort of stream. So DeFi on Pulsechain. There's the X space, and a lot of teams, DeFi teams on Pulsechain jump in there. So you get a lot of the latest news, and you can ask them questions, I think, sometimes. So that is it right there, DeFi on Pulsechain. So big shout out to Neil and Daniel and the rest of them, Kairos, all the people that are in there. Very, very cool. I might jump in there myself for a little bit. All right, take care, everybody, and bye for now. I'll catch you tomorrow. You know how it rolls. Crypto onto the moon. All right, see ya.